September 2024 real estate market update. We're going to talk about what's all over the news today, which is interest rates, and also what I'm personally seeing in the market as a full-time realtor who's involved in this world all day, every day. And sneak peek, it's a little bit weird out there. Let's do it. So it's likely that you've already heard that the Federal Reserve went ahead and has done their first interest rate cut since the early days of COVID in 2020. On September 18th, they announced they were going to be cutting interest rates by 50 basis points. Now, the Fed has explained that the reasoning behind this interest rate cut is to make progress on its dual goals of restoring price stability and achieving maximum employment. Let's take a look at this graph, which considers the unemployment rate over the last couple of years. On the far left of the graph, those red bars is the unemployment rate during COVID. We can kind of see that right now it's starting to creep up ever so slightly, and the Fed is citing this as a reason behind the interest rate cut. Now, along with that unemployment number, inflation has now been lowering down to reach what the Fed is saying is their target inflation number. And this is the other reason that they're now saying that they're comfortable with doing a substantial interest rate cut. So where does that leave us with mortgage rates right now? They've continued to level out, and a lot of buyers are finding themselves able to secure a low 6% interest rate for a 30-year mortgage. But of course, that definitely depends on the terms, on the lender, and on each buyer's situation. But we are still seeing an overall healthier and more affordable mortgage interest rate market than we saw over the last year or two. Now, what am I personally seeing in the market? Boots on the ground style. First up is a lot of properties are sitting on the market. Days on the market is up statistically, but I'm personally seeing a lot of listings that I otherwise would not have thought were going to take as long to sell as they are. Now, a lot of the times in these cases, it is because the property is overpriced, but there have definitely been instances that I've personally seen lately where I did not feel that property was overpriced. I felt it was marketed as well as it could be, and it still sat on the market. And what I mean by sitting on the market too is we're seeing, 2, 3, 4 weeks, even more than that for properties that otherwise a year ago, 2 years ago, would have been snapped up off the shelf like that. So a little bit strange out there as far as days in market go. Fall is typically a pretty good time to buy and sell a home. It's not going to be as hot and as quick as it might be in the spring or the early summer. But overall, if you're a seller, keep in mind that it's pretty likely it's going to take your property a little bit longer to sell, definitely than it has overall in the last couple of years. I think a big reason for this overall is a lack of urgency in the market from buyers specifically. I'm not sure exactly what this is from. If I had to guess, I would say a lot of projections are saying that interest rates are going to continue to lower. So that's one reason that many buyers might be, not as raring to go and a little bit more willing to wait than they have been. Another reason is the election year. We're at this point are less than 40 days out from the election, and that definitely has a lot of people nervous and maybe wanting to wait until afterwards when things calm down in order to go and make that home purchase. So that would be my best guess as to the reason for the higher days on market is just really there's a little bit of a lack of urgency. Now, the other two things I'm noticing in the market right now really stem directly from that higher days on market, and that would be sellers are overall receiving less offers on their properties, and I'm also seeing a lot more price reductions. So really, if you think about it, it makes sense. Buyers are the ones who are driving competition. Buyers are, of course, the ones who are writing offers, and if there's less urgency in the market, there's less buyers. That means, one, sellers are not receiving as many offers on their properties. Now, I am still seeing multiple offer situations, but they are definitely, farther and fewer between. And additionally, if a property is sitting on the market without selling, without receiving any offer, let alone multiple, it's more likely that it's going to be getting some price reductions. At the end of the day here, if you're a seller, it's still a good time to list your home. It is still a seller's market, though we've definitely moved closer to a neutral market. It's just going to take a little bit more strategy, and you're unlikely to have that super quick sale with a whole bunch of offers and crazy over asking price. Does it still happen? Yes, but it is significantly more unlikely than it has been in the last couple years, and you should be prepared for that outcome. If you're a buyer, I actually think this is a pretty great time to buy. Interest rates have come down, but the market has not yet been flooded by people who are now, have their pre-approval with that ultra low interest rate in hand and are ready to go out there and compete. So I actually think you've got a pretty good window right now. As always, the market will really slow down in winter. That's what happens every single year. And usually that means less inventory and therefore more competition on that hand, but also there tends to be less buyers in the winter. So either way, whether you're a buyer or seller right now, I think you've got a pretty good window to make a move this fall. I will tell you too that I personally am buying and selling property right now. So at the very least, I feel confident enough in the advice that I'm giving you that I will take it myself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this mini market update was helpful. Let me know what topics or questions you'd like me to cover next month. As always, check out my website, realestatewithhunter.com. I recently added a new client resources portal. This has a whole bunch of information that I have personally come up with myself and added. It has everything from appraisal calculators to my vendor recommendations to checklists and everything you need for your buying and selling journey and just learning more about the real estate market. Thanks for watching.